Everyone, I hope you're all well and having fun and loving life. I am really excited to show you the Red Seed Oracle. I bought this recently by Linda Hill, who I'm really happy about the fact that she's from England. She's in Devon or Cornwall, somewhere down there. Makes my heart happy. It's another deck that I don't have to wait weeks and weeks for, and I'm so happy that there are new deck creators from the UK and just doing such amazing things at the moment. So I went for the Red Seeds Oracle. There are a number of things calling me to this. There are 3 oracles in total. The second one has poetry by Sappho, which is one of the things that called me to this deck, because I did a project a while ago, a calligraphy project for an epitaph in a museum from around the same time that Sappho was about. It was an epitaph of a girl playing a harp or a lyre. And when I was researching her, it was from ancient Greece, and when I was researching about music from that period in that area, in that region, Sappho was the first thing that came up. So she was a lyrical poet of the time. She's also one of the first recorded writers, female writers, that we only have segments of her writing left. A lot of it was burnt and destroyed, like a lot of the things from that time, unfortunately. So because I knew a bit about her and I used her poetry as a basis to write my own for this calligraphic piece that I did for a museum, I was really drawn to explore these cards because they had Sappho on them. The other thing that drew me to these cards is that I have been rereading, I should say, Circe. This is one of my favourite books. I adore this book. If you haven't read it, do. It's about Circe, obviously, and I love the way that she separates or defines herself outside of the gods that surround her. She was, I don't want to say abandoned, what's the word? She was sent away to live, exiled. She was exiled on an island by her father for not going with the flow, basically. And I think, it turns out that she actually preferred her life there, I think, because she wasn't anything like the people that surrounded her. She was more intrigued and more in awe of the humans than she was the gods, and in actual fact she found the gods very like evil, really, what we would consider quite evil. Anyway, this book, I adore this book. This is a book that I come back to over and over again if I'm feeling down or having a rough time. There's just something quite comforting about it. I also have recently bought, but I haven't started yet, I'm going to start it after I finish Circe's Ariadne, by a different author. But Circe actually meets Ariadne in this book. I don't know much about Ariadne, but the stories of Circe, and I also read Mythos recently by Stephen Fry. All these stories have definitely triggered my want to know more about the ancient Greek mythology in general. And because I'm in that area at the moment and I'm reading about them, and I suppose with Circe I feel like I can connect with her a little bit. There's a lot going on in my own life that I'm struggling with. I felt compelled to follow this recommendation of Thea from Garden Goddess Tarot, and buy a Red Seeds Oracle. I've also got, since getting this, I've got Red Seeds Oracle 1 and 3 and the tarot deck coming as well. I'm completely sold on it, but I just wanted to show you the cards themselves and walk through them with you. I have done a flip through, which I will post separately. So there's sort of an affirmation on the front, a short affirmation on the front of each card, but on the back they relate to a goddess of some description. So blame, I don't even know how to pronounce this, Anisidora, otherwise known as Pandora, was sent a punishment from Zeus to the world of men after they had accepted fire from Prometheus. Anisidora was the first woman to be created and was shaped and moulded from the earth. When finished, she was given a sealed clay jar which she was forbidden to open. Curiosity overwhelmed her, and to her horror out flew a swarm of insects, which stung her viciously. They were the sorrows: disease, poverty, misery, death, and sadness. Shutting the lid, she saw that there was only one insect left in the jar: hope, which was now unavailable to mortals. The world suffered until Anisidora reopened the jar and released hope back into the world. Like Eve, Anisidора's myth points the blame at women for bringing the suffering to humanity, and so the challenge is patriarchy, the gift is hope. But up here in the corner of each card is a little piece of what I believe to be larger poems by Sappho. In a land that knows not bitterness nor sorrow, she has found out all of truth at last. So I'm a calligrapher, and in my daily life, in my day-to-day, and I am really enjoying using these as some inspiration for some calligraphy projects that I'm doing. So each one has a back to it that relates to the front. And in reading Circe and playing with these cards, I am the muse. I think this is Sappho herself. You know, she's not a goddess, but I'm so glad that she's in this deck. She should be. There's such a big connection here between Circe by Madeline Miller and the deck itself. I love the fact that it celebrates the divine feminine in all our aspects. I want to say it's balanced. I don't know if it's balanced. I haven't tried to separate them out into positive and negative, but there's a lot of negative aspects. There's a lot of positive aspects. There's a lot of relating the female, the divine female, to a happening. But I feel the point to this deck is to bring ourselves into alignment when, you know, whether positive things are happening or negative things are happening. So I'm wondering now if I can push them out into sort of neutral, positive, negative. I have no idea if it's balanced, and I don't know if I should really do that because I think it defeats the object of the deck. But so there's I am alchemy, I am shaped, I am legacy, I am blame, I am reason, I am magic, which is the Circe card. I am tidal, Selene, the moon card. I am nurture, guided, memory, the beauty myth, Psyche, the opening. I wonder if I'm assuming this goddess isn't... Oh, so she's not. She's Celtic, I would imagine, from UK. Oh no, Hinduism as well. They're not necessarily Greek goddesses, which is fine by me. I don't mind. But I'm really enjoying, weirdly, and I don't know. Part of me feels bad saying it, but I'm really enjoying the fact that this is an all-female deck, and I can connect with it to an extent that I wouldn't necessarily be able to connect with others. I do feel like I'm in a very feminine place right now. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to the tarot deck that's coming, which follows the Mystics, I believe, something like that. There's a book that comes with it. I will do a separate video on it. There's loads of videos up there, to be fair, but I just wanted to show you this deck. And also, if anyone is sort of exploring this deck, maybe give you a prompt to read Circe and Ariadne, although I can't speak for Ariadne yet because I haven't read it, but definitely Circe. I'm going to pull a few cards. I feel like I need to outline what it is I'm feeling right now. I struggle with defining emotions, so maybe this would be a good way of helping myself do that. Nurture, that makes sense, and maybe a card of what I need to embody to help me get through this difficult period that I'm going through right now, because at the moment I can honestly say I do not see, I'm in a place where there is no hope. And I am struggling with that a little bit. So a card that outlines what I can embody in order to get through this difficult phase. Mortal. So let's read them. I am nurture. I'm going to read Sappho's quote first. The goddess's heart and woman's heart were one in that maternal love that men revere, love that endures when other loves are done. Amalthea, the she-goat nurse, was the foster mother of Zeus. His mother left her son with Amalthea so she could protect him from his father's murderous violence. When grown, Zeus honoured his foster mother, by giving her a place in the heavens as one of the brightest stars in the constellation of Auriga. The star was called Capella, meaning little goat. The feminine has historically been seen as having more ability to nurture than the masculine, but in modern societies the feminine and masculine are now navigating a more equal relationship towards nurture and care. Many men are no longer afraid or ashamed to show and explore their nurturance skills, which makes for a safer, better and more unified world. So the challenge is risk, the gift is protection. And then this card was something that I maybe need to embody to help me get through this difficult time. So Sappho's quote is, "On that day, one grey eye's fate, pausing in her toil, shall say, Lo, one mortal has achieved immortality of love. The Moirai, I'm just going to call it Moirai. They were three goddesses of fate and destiny who controlled the life and death cycle of mortals. They appeared 3 nights after a child's birth to determine the course of its life. Clotho oversaw the birth and spun the thread of life. Lachesis measured the length of the life, and Atropos severed the thread at the end of the life. The certainty of our eventual death can cause us existential worry and stress. Ancient wisdom speaks to us of the value of living every day in the present. Bringing mindfulness to our mortal lives may inspire us to seize the day, to fill ourselves with gratitude and enjoy our precious time. If we worry about what might be and wonder what might have been, we will ignore what is. The challenge is dread. The gift is acceptance. I mean, yeah. Speaks a bunch. So yeah, I was going to do it separately, but I'm going to put the flip through video up now. And since this isn't a very long video, and I hope you enjoy seeing the cards, and I urge you to absolutely explore them if you're working with Divine Feminine or connecting with your inner sort of Divine Feminine, or you're really interested in Greek mythology or goddess myths, goddess connections. I highly recommend this deck, and I look forward to showing you the other oracles and the tarot when it comes through. Thanks, guys.